Hello and welcome to Asa Smiles. Thank you for joining us. I am Asa, your host. We appreciate you, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I just want to cover a couple things. I'm a little under the weather today, but a couple things I need to address. First and foremost, I got an email from NamUs regarding the what I thought was National Missing Persons Day, but I read it wrong. And so I want to acknowledge that I read the email incorrectly. It is actually let me find it right here, is National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. So it was talking about, the email was talking about National Missing Persons Day, National Day for Awareness of Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, etc., etc. And so I read the email, and when I did the podcast yesterday, I made an error when I said it was National Missing Persons Day. That is in February on the 3rd every year. May 5th is the National Day for Awareness Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. So, we got another thing that also says National Missing Persons Day is observed on February 3rd every year. Okay? But it was actually set up on May 25th, 1983 to honor and draw attention to all the missing person cases across the country. So May 5th is actually the National Missing and Indigenous people. And then what I saw was May 25th, 1983 is when they set up the February 3rd date for National Missing Persons Day. And it's very, very easy to get stuff mixed up when you've got tons of dates running through your head constantly. So somebody pointed that out, that I had that incorrect. I appreciate that, because I have no issue whatsoever in acknowledging when I've got something wrong. So that's what happened. I'm reading the history of National Missing Persons Day. And that is what it says. National Missing Persons Day was set up on May 25th, 1983 to honor and draw attention to all the missing person cases across the country. So, I was headed in the right direction, but I got it wrong. So I want to correct that. It was set up on May 25th, 1983, but the actual date is February 3rd every year. Okay? So, thank you for pointing that out to us. We appreciate it, because, of course, we want to get it right. All right, so now to address another situation. Oh, wait, before I address the other situation, let's talk about that music at the beginning. That's another piece that my son Tyler composed. I love it. Of course, I'm only playing little tiny excerpts of the pieces for y'all, as I don't think you want to sit through a 4, 5, 6, 7 minute composition playing before the podcast starts. So anyways, that is, my baby wrote that, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, let's get on to the other issue that we want to address. Now, I'll tell y'all honestly, I wouldn't know some of this stuff if it weren't for people reaching out to me and talking to me about different things that get posted on social media. I'm so busy, y'all. I don't have time to surf social media to see who agrees with me, who doesn't agree with me. And I don't have time for all that. I'm just trying to get information out. So it came to my attention through the attorneys and through staff that there was a document that was posted on YouTube, and I got a copy of it texted to me. And basically what it says is that it is a third party recollection of a conversation between two people. I have some serious issues with this accounting for several reasons. I'm going to explain that why I have issues with it. But anyways, it says that Atlanta Police Sergeant Greg Restell spoke with Arkansas State Trooper Broughton by public service. Sergeant Restell spoke to Trooper Broughton, and this is a summary of the conversation. Okay, this is a summary of the conversation. So it's like that game of telephone, right? Where you start something out at the beginning and everybody whispers it into each other's ear till it gets to the end, and then you find out how far off it is from when it started. And it's usually like way off the hook, right? So, anyways, it says that Sergeant Restell spoke to Trooper Broughton, and this is a summary of the conversation. Trooper Broughton observed a Jeep vehicle parked on the side of Arkansas Highway 71. Trooper Broughton placed a tow vehicle decal on the vehicle. Once Atlanta Police Department got the vehicle entered in the TCIC NCIC as being connected to a missing person, Eric Alvarado. Trooper Broughton went back to the vehicle location, and the vehicle was still parked in the same spot. Trooper Broughton had the vehicle picked up, and the vehicle was taken to the Little River County Sheriff's Office for processing. So, supposedly, that is what this Sergeant or Chief Restell had to say about this conversation. Now, Restell is out of Atlanta PD, so how would he know what happened? Because you're going to see that I'm going to counter this, and the photo of the information will be the picture that accompanies this podcast. I try never to post something that I haven't confirmed myself, for good reason, because people always have a different idea of what was said or how things went, etc., etc., etc. That's why you do link analysis. That's why you study. That's why you do all the stuff that we do, right? So when we first started this case, it was requested by us from the family that they surrender all information that they have regarding Eric's case. because everybody and their brother knows that it's always better to have 50 eyeballs looking at something than two, right? Because you never know what you'll pick up that somebody else didn't notice, or that's part of link analysis. And and that is something that we do here at JC Cares USA. So, and the amount of information that Lorenzo and Matt and Cynthia have accumulated is insane. It has been said before that they haven't done anything regarding Eric's case. And I have got to say that that is just a bald-faced lie. Because the thing is I can see what they've done and haven't done. The thing is that they just weren't telling anybody over there in Atlanta what they were doing. They were amassing tons and tons of information, and they passed all that on to us. And I'll tell you, a lot of the information that they provided filled 2 5-inch binders. That's a lot of information. And a lot more than most families have. These people have put the work in. And then on top of that, Melissa, who is now a volunteer with JC Cares USA, the amount of information that she amassed was also incredible. She amassed a ton of information. She was sending out FOIAs. For those who don't know, that's the Freedom of Information Act, where you can send a request to law enforcement or other agencies asking for them to turn over their records. And they amassed quite a lot of information for Melissa, or Melissa amassed it for them, for the family. And it was a ton of information. And even though we've gone through it all, we still keep going through it. And I'll tell you too, something else. Melissa's not even done giving us all the information she has. She's still working on that. Because initially we said, send us everything that you think is crucial, and then send us everything that you didn't think was crucial, because, and she knows this, just because we don't think it's crucial, maybe somebody else will. Maybe somebody else will pick something up and point it out, etc., etc. So, anyways, this is part of the problem of why this misinformation keeps being put out. And it really needs to be corrected, because number one, this document is dated 11/25/2018, which would be allegedly 5 days after Eric went missing. And I say allegedly because that's what's being alleged. But the timeline keeps changing. And for good reason. As more information becomes available, we can change the timeline and have supporting evidence to document why. So this was allegedly written 5 days after Eric allegedly disappeared. Okay? So the person who posted this, I guess, made some kind of comment if they would believe somebody who wrote the report days after Eric went missing versus blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know about you, but this is a third-party conversation. It's a recollection. It's a summary of what they felt the conversation was. And obviously it was incorrect what they thought the summary was, because I'm going to tell you directly what Trooper Broughton said. And we have it in writing. And from the Arkansas State Troopers. So, it was alleged that we're making stuff up, or that we're not, posting the correct information, that we're, I guess, according to this social media person, but the truth is that this person hasn't done any work on this case, because if they did, they would know that this carries no water. This little piece of a report carries no water. And I'll tell you why. First of all, not sure what Mr. Restell had to do with the case at the time, but we were told that the lead investigator was Gemma Hicks. So I'm not sure what part Restell played in this, but I will excuse me, I'm sorry. I will get to the bottom of it, because I will reach out to them again and speak to them again. But it's my understanding that okay, so down here again in the next paragraph, this is a summary of the conversation between Restell and Kennemore. Sergeant Kennemore stated that he is going to get a search warrant and process the vehicle. So Sergeant Restell and Sergeant Kennemore had this conversation. So, I mean, those two had a conversation of a summary of supposedly what Trooper Broughton said. And they got it wrong. They got it wrong. That happens. It's no big deal. That happens. I just got it wrong about National Missing Persons Day. I got it mixed up with the date it was created and the date that it is actually held on annually. It happens. So, no big deal. You just investigate and make sure that the information you have or that you're receiving is true and correct, and then you move on. So, having said that, let us move on. So, what we did is first reached out to the Arkansas State Troopers and with the Arkansas State Police, excuse me. And we have done this 3 different times. 3 different times. First, Melissa did it. Then we did it. And then actually, Melissa did it. Then we did it. And then we called them. And this is a response we got from Trooper Catlin Nelson, the legal support specialist with the Arkansas State Police at 1 State Police Plaza Drive in Little Rock, Arkansas, 72209. This was dated March 11th at 9:08 a.m. As I said, it's going to be the picture for this podcast. So if you click on the picture, you'll be able to see it. And this is what the Arkansas State Police said. I spoke to the trooper, Broughton, who responded to the area. He advised that he did not do a toe slip nor towed the vehicle. He said it was possibly Little River. You will have to reach out to Little River County for whatever records they might have. I hope that helps you. Okay. Sorry about the nose blow, y'all. I'm getting sick, so. Okay, so that's straight from the legal support specialist at Arkansas State Police, who spoke directly to the trooper who responded to the area, which is Trooper Broughton. Now, let's get something straight. The only reason Trooper Broughton saw Eric's vehicle was because he was responding to a vehicle that had gone into the river. That was a vehicle where 2 kids out of Shreveport, Louisiana, had stolen a vehicle in Texarkana, and they were joyriding and lost control of the vehicle, and it went into the river. Absolutely zero affiliation, zero, with Eric's Jeep or Eric's case. Nothing to do with it at all. In fact, when they responded to the river, which is not far from where Eric's vehicle was right there, the vehicle that the kids were joyriding in hadn't even sunk completely yet. It was still bobbing. So it wasn't very long after the vehicle went in that the Arkansas State Police responded. And when they responded, they noted that there was a Jeep sitting there. They noted there was a Jeep sitting there. There was no tow tag on the Jeep, nothing. But they took the information for the Jeep down, just in case there was any affiliation with the kids and the vehicle that went into the river. Later, when they put that information in the system, that's when it came back as being the vehicle being wanted in connection with the disappearance of Eric Alvarado. Now, that's very important because all along it has been said that things happened a certain way, and we know that it has not happened that certain way. That tow tag was not on there originally when the vehicle was dropped off. That tow tag was not on there, and nobody even knew the Jeep was there until the trooper noted that the vehicle was sitting there. So nobody knows how long it was sitting there or anything. But they do know that they did not put a tow tag on it. And Little River is saying that they didn't. So again, here we are. When I called the third time when I reached out for the third time to the Arkansas State Police about this tow tag, is when it was explained to me thoroughly how it works. First of all, as somebody else on the team pointed out, when a tow tag gets put on a vehicle, you got to scrape it off to get it off. It's really on there. It's really stuck on there because most of the time these vehicles are stuck on the highway. Vehicles are whizzing past, so air is blowing on anything on the side of the road. If it was just like a sticky note kind of thing, it would blow off. So, when a tow tag gets put on a vehicle, you really have to use something like a putty knife or a razor blade or something of that nature to get it completely off of the vehicle. So, how a tow tag would get off of the vehicle and onto the ground, and supposedly in a house shoe, allegedly, that belonged to Eric, allegedly, is just out there. It's just out there. So, I would say, where's the tow tag? Where's it at? I'd like to see it. But everybody says it doesn't exist, so it's not in the system. When you write a tow tag, the vehicle is put in the system that you wrote a tow tag. All the information regarding the vehicle, the VIN number, the plate number, everything goes into the system. That is how the trooper knew that the vehicle was wanted in a missing persons case, because he ran the information of the vehicle. If he would have issued a tow tag, he would have done it right then. He would have put it in the system, but he did not, because he didn't issue a tow tag. And nobody else is admitting that they did. So, it's a little strange, don't you think? A little strange to me. So, according to this trooper, he would have no reason to lie about whether he left a tow tag or not. So, when we got another message back from Catlin, she said, and I quote, "I was unable to locate any type of incident report mentioning the black Jeep. Further, ASPCID does not have any records." ASPCID, Arkansas State Police Criminal Investigation Division, does not have any type of report. They didn't tow anything. They didn't anything with the vehicle. The only reason the Arkansas State Police knew the vehicle was there was because they were responding to another call. Now, this is not a third-party conversation or summary of a conversation. This is directly from the trooper, what the trooper said happened. And since that's what the trooper says happened, that changes the timeline. So let's talk about some more things that we know, since this person who is leaking information let's talk about what was said down here. Okay, so they talked about getting a search warrant to process the vehicle. And we're working on that right now. But it also says that they located a GoPro camera inside the vehicle and the SIM card was missing. Now, this is information that shouldn't be public, but it is now. And now that it is, let me say this. All that does is lend credence to the things that we have disclosed, which is Eric Alvarado was scared for his life. And allegedly, according to several witnesses, he was scared of his wife and her family. He had cameras inside his house. He had cameras outside his house. And he had a freaking camera in his vehicle. Is it all just a coincidence? Really? So Eric disappears a day or two here and there. We now know where he was going. And those folks say that when he was going to their places, that he was relaying to them that he was scared. That he wanted to leave his wife and he was scared of her and her family. And that something was going to happen to him. Now we have 5 witnesses now. And some of them don't even know each other. 5 witnesses, actually 6, 6 witnesses now who all say that. He relayed to them that he was scared for his life, he was scared of his wife and her family, that he wanted to leave her, and that he was scared to leave for X reasons. So here he has cameras all over in his house, all over outside his house, and in his vehicle, which supposedly, by the way, he never went anywhere by himself. According to his wife, she was always with him. The story just keeps changing and changing to fit the narrative that these people are trying to spin about what happened to Eric. But the truth is coming out. And we're going to stay with it until those involved with Eric's disappearance are held accountable. Until I hear the handcuffs going on as they're being led out of the courthouse to serve their sentence, I am going to stay with this case. JC Cares USA will stay with this case until we are absolutely satisfied that Eric got justice, because that's what this is about. Now, when you start a case like this, you know that you have to start from ground zero. I can't go off what anybody else did. All I can account for is what we did and what our investigation has unfolded. So even when the family or Melissa gives me information, we don't just post it. We fact check everything, because we don't want to put out the wrong information. We want the people responsible for Eric's disappearance, and it doesn't matter who it is. If the evidence shows that they were involved in his disappearance, then that's that. Now, when you do link analysis, you start in the inner circle and you start working your way out, and you eliminate people based on different evidence that's been presented to you. Well, this person couldn't have done it because they were in California. Or this person couldn't have done it because they were on a trip to China. Whatever the situation. This person couldn't do it because they were in jail. This person couldn't do it because blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You start eliminating those people. Are there people that we can't eliminate? Yep. Absolutely. And are there people that can't be eliminated in the very close inner circle? Yep. We want to. I mean, because who really wants to think? You really want to hope and pray it was some random act of violence or something like that happened. But statistics tell us differently. And that's why we have to start at the beginning and start weeding out people that we know couldn't be involved, and the reasons that they couldn't be involved. And then after you're done doing that, then you start looking at all the people that you couldn't eliminate. And I got to tell you, I really got to tell you that I've tried every which way to eliminate some people, and I just can't. Unless something else comes up. But it ain't looking good. So, am I going to go off of a report made on an alleged conversation between two other people and go off what they said? No. I'm going to fact check it. I'm going to go directly to the source, Trooper Broughton. And I read to you what Trooper Broughton said. And it'll be in the picture. There was no tow tag issued by Trooper Broughton for Eric's vehicle. If there was ever a tow tag issued, it had to have been issued by Little River sheriffs. But they say that they did not issue one either. However, this supposed recollection of a conversation says that it was the trooper who put a tow vehicle decal. And we know that's not true. We have the evidence to prove it. So, honestly, you guys, this person is doing everything that they can to try to just find something that we did wrong. And the truth is, do we make mistakes? Of course we do. We're human beings. Everybody makes mistakes. And, but when it comes to stuff like this, We are very thorough. That's one of the reasons why we've been successful. Because we're very thorough about what we look at. And the truth is that we learn new stuff every single day. Life is a learning process, right? I mean, nobody can know everything. You have to be learning something every day in this job. Because you can't know everything. But I'll tell you what I do know for a fact is that the Trooper Broughton, says he never left a tow vehicle tag on the vehicle. He saw it. He ran the information for it, but he never left a tow tag. And Little River is saying that they didn't issue the tow tag either. So where'd it come from? There's a lot of things that happened over there off of Highway 71 in Arkansas where Eric's Jeep was located that don't make sense. But the biggest part of this, more than the tow tag, is the fact that we know Eric had his GoPro set up in his vehicle and somebody took the SIM card. Somebody took the SIM card. It wasn't Eric. Because if that were the case, why wouldn't Eric just take the whole camera? Why just the SIM card? Somebody went to the lengths to take the time to take the SIM card out. And I'll tell you, a lot of people have come forward saying that Eric was lured out of his house with the idea that he was going to sell some marijuana. And allegedly, this was not something he wanted to do. So I find it kind of funny that, and I can't say who we were told was the person that made that phone call, but I can tell you this. I thought it interesting that Eric was going out at night, especially since his own wife said he never went places alone. She was always with him. And a lot of people that we spoke to said that his wife was so controlling that he couldn't go anywhere without her because she constantly thought he was cheating. And they fought a lot about that. But you have to remember, in the previous podcast, if you haven't listened to him, I urge you to go back and listen to him, because the fact of the matter is that he was already telling his family that he was leaving Samantha a week prior to his disappearance. Not quite a week. So, that's a huge issue. Now, if somebody wants to come forward with solid evidence that can eliminate some of those people closely associated with Eric, yeah, can email me at jccares91@gmail.com, or you can call us at area code 929-406-3527. And I would say to this social media person that I get why this person would post this, but you need to understand that we're a missing persons organization and this is what we do every day, all day long. And we don't just take anybody's word for it. We go directly to the source. Directly to the source. We don't do the whole, well, he said or she said. No, 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 no. We go directly to the source, and that's what we did here. And that is what Trooper Broughton said. He did not leave the toe tag. So making claims that we made it up or, what was the words used? Let me see, because I was like laughing because I'm like, exhausting. It's so exhausting. Claims that no toe tag was ever issued for Eric's Jeep are either based on false knowledge or outright lies. See the kind of stuff we have to deal with. Although I don't care. I wouldn't even know about it if it hadn't have been sent to me. So, but I do want to give our listeners the truth so that way that y'all can know what's going on. We don't want to put false information out there. So we want to make sure that we are on the money with what we talk about. And if we've got something wrong, we'll come up and say we got something wrong. Because that's the only thing that's going to help. In Eric's case, is not, hiding anything, not having egos too big or what have you. Sadly, this person is just lying in wait like a tiger, just waiting for us to make a wrong comment or so that they can be like, they're lying. We have no reason to lie. None whatsoever. And, of course, the families all know this. We have no reason to lie at all. And we do fact check all the information that we get. We don't just take it from this person as the gospel. We fact check everything. And so do the police ever make mistakes when they're writing reports? Of course they do. They're human just like us. They make mistakes. Does that make them bad? No. Not at all. But that is not what Trooper Broughton said in his conversation with Kennemore. That's not what he said. He never put a toe tag on the vehicle. And that's that. Why would he lie, right? So, and why would we? Why would we? We're trying to get help in this case. We want the facts out there. We want everybody to hear the facts. And that is the only reason I'm bringing this up now in a podcast, is because this person, without getting the facts straight, just went ahead and posted this on social media. And it's not true. We got the clarification of what actually happened straight from the trooper. Not any second party or third party conversations. When you have an organization like JC Cares USA, when you call law enforcement, they're usually very good about helping. Because they know that we're trying to help. And they know that any information we get will be shared with them. So they're very forthcoming with us. They won't give us detrimental information to the case, but they will give us as much information as they can. And because they know that we're just working to help the case, and we're going to turn that all over to them eventually, and et cetera, et cetera. So they have no reason to lie to us. And I'm just like, I don't understand the obsession this person has. And that's really what it has become. And I think that's part of the reason why it has taken so long to get resolution in this case. Because this person, like a few others, is buying into the BS that those in the close circle of Eric is putting out. And that's common when you have something to hide. That's my opinion. Of course, as always, people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by a jury or a judge. So, we can have our opinions on what's happening and search and fact check all the evidence and provide that stuff to law enforcement so that they can pursue. Or we can put out information that person keeps supplying to put out there so that they can try to disqualify anything that our organization is confirming as factual evidence. Okay. I'm okay with that. Go ahead. I still have the facts that say the truth. So sorry if you don't like it. If all law enforcement agencies and organizations across the country, I mean in the world, if they believed every single thing that the inner circle of family or friends said about a missing person, they would never solve any cases. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You have to work the case. You can't just say, well, so-and-so gave me this and they said that. No, you have to contact those folks directly. So you can say all you want to that, wow, I would rather believe somebody who wrote this report days after Eric went missing rather than somebody later, da da da. It doesn't matter because that report is a summary of an alleged conversation. That person doesn't know everything that was said between Trooper Broughton and Kennemore. They don't know. They just wrote down what they thought. Because Trooper Broughton says straight up, no, that did not happen. So anyways, you guys, I wanted to clear that up. I wanted to put out there that, there's a lot of things going on with this case right now. It's popping. We've got a lot happening. So we are really trying to stay on top of it all and make sure that we get all the information that we need and that we fact check everything as much as we possibly can to make sure that it's correct. And then we just picked up another case out of California yesterday. So we got a lot going on. Well, the day before yesterday, actually. So we got a lot going on right now. And, in working on other cases as well. So, anyways, y'all, I just wanted to put that out there for you. Please give a listen. So, see, here's my issue, y'all, before we round this up for today. It's interesting to me that the only people that this little inner circle, including Eric's wife, of people will talk to is social media influencers who will post their nonsense, post stuff that isn't true, make accusations. One of the great accusations was that Eric was on methamphetamines, which is a lie. I heard another podcast where Samantha claimed that she had never done anything but smoke weed, and we have witnesses who say different. So there's a lot of things that are being alleged that contradicts what story Eric's wife is putting out. Now, I would think if I was Eric's wife, in my opinion, if an organization like JC Cares USA was investigating my husband's case, then I would respond to them. We have reached out to her several times, trying to get her to discuss Eric's case with us. And instead of reaching out to us, she goes to this social media influencer who is buying all her stuff, buying her story, and then gives her little pieces here and there to put out a false narrative. And that's exactly what she has done. This is like a game as old as the days are young. I mean, come on, you guys. You know, why would a person go to the social media influencer and do a podcast of lies, but not speak with us? I'll tell you why. Because we're going to ask the right questions that she is not going to have an answer for. That's why. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. And that's exactly how I feel. Because otherwise, if you had nothing to do with it or you knew nothing about what happened, why wouldn't you reach out to us after we've reached out to you? Why would you reach out? Because the only people that she has ever given information to has always been some extended family members who whatever, and a social media influencer who knows nothing about the case, doesn't have any of the evidence like we have. It's just, the reason is because they drank the Kool-Aid and she can spin her narrative. And see, she's spinning a narrative right now because we're involved. If we weren't involved, she wouldn't be doing anything. She hasn't. She had a boyfriend 2 to 3 months after her husband that she supposedly loved more than life itself disappeared. I mean, hello? And that's just things that we're allowed to talk about. There's so much that we can't talk about. So, I mean, doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. I would love to be like, oh yeah, some random person did this. But I can't even get to a random person because I can't rule out anybody in that close circle. So, anyways, you guys, we're going to close that out for today. I don't want to put any sensitive information out there. But if you have any information, we would love to have it. Again, I'll extend the invitation to Samantha. If you would like to speak with us, you know the number. Give us a call. If you feel like, you have some information that you can give us that will point us in a different direction or point us at something else, we're more than happy to look at that. But this man was clearly scared. He had cameras everywhere, even in his vehicle. Why is there missing time? And why is the SIM card missing from the camera? You got to make it make sense. And that makes no sense. So, anyways, y'all, we're going to get off of here for today. I thank you for everything that you do. I thank you for listening. I'm under the weather, and I'm going to rest and try to get feeling better because I have chemotherapy next week, and I don't want to be sick when my chemo comes around. So anyway, y'all be kind. Be kind to everybody that you meet. And in addition, I would say to this social media person, you spend so much time trying to prove us wrong. Maybe you ought to sit back and quit thinking that you're right about everything and realize that you don't have the correct information before you put it out. Why wouldn't you do it before you put it out? This is like, I don't know, like the 7th or 8th time that you have put something out that is completely false. I understand that you got this from Samantha or whoever gave it to you, but you got to check it out. That's what we did. That's what we did. You got to fact check all that stuff. So instead of wasting so much time trying to find out something we're doing wrong and pretend like you are protecting the integrity of this case, no, you're not. You're actually putting out false information, and you're hindering the investigation by doing that. You really need to be fact-checking what you put out. Spend your time fact-checking instead of trying to find something we did wrong. That would be more helpful. Fact-check all the stuff you have. Or the stuff that gets given to you. Fact-check it some more. Don't just believe because someone gave it to you. Oh, that's the gospel. Honey, if I did that in all these cases that we work on, we would never get people found. We would never get people justice. We just wouldn't. You can't do that. You can't just go off of what that person is telling you. You got to check the facts at all times. So, I'm sorry you're wasting your time and getting the wrong answers, but I'm thinking, maybe you should redirect all that attention, that negative attention that you're trying to give everybody, into actually working on a case. That probably would be good. For being a supposed reporter, which we've already clarified she's not, you're not doing your job. Because if you were, you would have fact checked that before you posted it. So, anyways, I don't have any more time for that. As I said before, we are bored with that and all the nonsense that goes along with it. And, the only reason I'm even doing this podcast is to make sure the correct information is out. And that's it. So, y'all, be kind. I'm trying to be as kind as I can, even though it's shocking. But obviously there's something going on with this person that, I can't explain or understand. And I'm just not going to. And sadly, this person probably could have reached out to me and I would have let them know before they posted it. And sadly, this person could have had a different attitude in the beginning. And maybe this story would have been something I would have shared with them after the resolution for them to use on their podcast. But, I don't do that during an investigation because we need to control what information gets put out so that there's no sensitive information that gets out to the public before the police want it out. So, but that's not how it happened. I mean, right away, it was like a full-on war for this person. They're obsessed. I mean, I sit and watch. And I'm not kidding you guys. I watch them log on to our JC Cares USA website sometimes upwards of 20 times a day. I have screenshots of it all. Every time this person logs into our website, it rings a doorbell. A doorbell noise on my phone. And I have that set up because if somebody fills out a form for their missing loved one, etc., it comes to me right away. So everything that happens on our website comes to me right away. You can log in to our website and 10 seconds later, I will know you're there. Not even 10 seconds. It's pretty quick. So, this person logs into our account, our Facebook account, upwards of 20 times a day. We have sometimes just 2 or 3 times, but we have the screenshots because we keep all that information for the attorneys to show how much we're being stalked, literally. It's become like an obsession, and I'm really not certain why this person is doing the things that she is doing, but she is. And, this person makes all kinds of different accounts and, comes to us from different accounts to say silly stuff. And this person doesn't realize that we know who it is. There's IP addresses. So it doesn't matter who you're logging in under or how many accounts you have. It still shows coming from you. Just like every time you turn on our website, we're notified. Y'all, it's just crazy sometimes. I don't know what's going on, but I hope that she finds some peace and some understanding in her life, and that she finds some kindness. If she really wants to help, she really wants to do something good with her time, then she needs to quit trying to, stab people in the back and so on and so forth. Y'all, if I put out half of the stuff that these attorneys have accumulated already regarding this person, we're not the only people that she has attacked. We're not the only people. And, sadly, they have spoke to other folks who have had the same situation. Why? Why are you at odds with all these people all the time? It doesn't make any sense. There's something going on beyond just that this person supposedly wants to save the integrity of Eric's case. She didn't know Eric. She knew nothing about Eric or Eric's case until Melissa involved her. So, and then when we were asked by the family to take over the case, Melissa stopped sharing information with her because that was one of the things that our organization required. You don't work with anybody, any social media influencers. We put our own information out. That way we can control what gets said and what doesn't, because we can only be responsible for what we say. So, and that was when she shot back with a text message that said that little stunt your organization pulled. We have it all. It's very clear that when we took over the case, she was furious because she knew that since we were taking over the case and the family was advised that they couldn't work with any social media influencers, she knew that that meant that she was no longer going to be getting the inside information on the case. She knew that. And that's what made her angry. And that's when she started bad-mouthing Melissa. That's when she started bad-mouthing me and our organization. And she, started posting lies about us and so on and so forth. And it just got way crazy. And it's really sad because the truth is that all she is doing, all she's accomplishing is wasting time. Wasting time. She could have been doing something else regarding whatever case, or wasting our time because we got to come back and say, no, here's actually the truth of what happened, so that the public is aware of the truth and the facts. That's all she's doing. So, if I was friends and family members of Eric's, I would be livid that she is interfering. And they are. They are. So, anyways. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get off of here and close this out for today. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate all of you who listen. We appreciate those of you who reach out to us. Really want to personally thank several people who have come forward with information regarding Eric's case. Y'all are heroes in my book, and I appreciate everything that you have done and sacrificed and put out there for us. We appreciate you. All right, y'all. It's a beautiful day out here in New York City. It's 80 degrees. It's absolutely lovely. The sun is shining. Although later it's supposed to hail, so we'll see. But anyways, y'all, remember, smile. It's contagious, right? Thank you. So long for now. We love you.